sure that you want to be a dentist, because many times people say, well, I may not have grades good enough to get into medical school. I don't know. Dentistry is very hard on your body. It is. So one advice I have is make sure you have a strong core. You start yoga and all those exercises early in life, while you're young. You won't know it now, but honestly, as you get older, it is a very, very demanding job physically. So make sure that you actually want to work in a small area. You want to be crouching down and that you actually do want to work in the mouth, because um, there is a limited space, and there's so much to learn and so much to know, but make sure that's what you want and that it's not your second choice, backup to medicine, because it's a totally different kind of medicine. um, I also want to make sure you understand that the scenery of dentistry is changing in terms of private practice. A lot of groups are buying out the smaller practices, so it's becoming very corporate, which is not good, because then you become an employee. And I know so many of you are going to be graduating with hundreds of $1,000s of loans. So make sure you understand your return of investment. If you're spending at least 4 years in dental school, of course, we're very blessed. You can come out and you can make a decent living, but those student loans take a long time to pay back. By the time you want to start a family, you want to buy a house, even if you live, I live within my means. I don't have super fancy car. I'm very blessed. I have a very nice house, but it's not a big, big house. You have to make sure, that you understand that even though you're going to make a good living, that it's something that is changing. It's your unfortunately reimbursements from insurance. I don't take very many insurances, and that's tough. You have to be, brave to do that, because insurance landscapes have changed. They are reimbursing doctors less and less. So that means you have to work harder and harder. So make sure you want that. Do you really want to have this physical job? I do think it's very limiting if you set up shop somewhere, because of licensure. And once you start your patient base, if you like to travel and you want to have a job where you can go places, this is not for you. Of course, there's missions and things you can do on the side, but it is so that's one thing that I don't like about my job, is I can't just pick up and move and go do it somewhere else, because you have your patients that come to see you, and it's not a business you can easily move. So I will tell you that, make sure that's what you want. Um, you will be taking out loans. Make sure you go to a school that you want, but if you have choices between, like, let's say 2, 3 schools, 4 schools, honestly, of course, pick where you want to live, but pick the place that's going to be the cheapest. If you're going to get the same degree, you do not want to be in take the least amount of loan and go to the cheapest school possible, because it's tough. You're going to always be a little bit behind trying to catch up and pay your loans until you get to a point where you've hopefully done that. So be aware of all those things. And those are things I knew nothing about. When I wanted to be a dentist at age 10, I didn't even know how much they made. I didn't know what a good salary was. So you really have to love it. Do it for the right reason. There's days I wish I could do my job for free if I didn't have to pay bills. But also, going through this pandemic has made me realize it is a job, and much of healthcare obviously is, we cannot do our job on the computer at home. So if you want to have it's been secure. Luckily, we knew patients would come back, but it was pretty scary a few months ago. We had no idea what was to become of our profession when we were shut down. So that made me a little sad that I had a job where I have to be in the office. I can't do it from home. So you cannot work from home. I mean, unless you have your own practice, yes, then you have paperwork at home, but you don't really want to bring that home if you don't have to. So be aware of all those things before you pick dentistry, because it's very rewarding, but it's also very demanding in many different ways. You have to wear many different hats, of being a doctor, maybe business owner or partner or an associate. It's a lot to think about.